Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well. I thought I would also create a little review video of Dragon Age the Veilguard. I know there are so many videos out there, and everyone's trying to get their point across and their thoughts because at the end of the day, this is a game that has a very popular fan base, a fan base that is very loyal and dedicated to this game because at the end of the day, Dragon Age is a beautiful, fantastic world, an amazing fantasy RPG series and franchise, and I don't think anyone can take that away from the game. And I just want to say that after playing for like 80 hours of my first playthrough, getting 90% of the codex done, doing every single side quest available that I could possibly do given the choices of the game, I honestly feel that the anti-woke crowd, the people that went on this whole escapade leading up to the release and the initial release of the game, have a lot of unsubstantiated, inconsistent, and sometimes delusional views of the game. I think sadly, whenever it comes to media involving diversity and inclusion, especially when it comes to non-binary and queer and trans people, that you're going to get conservative groups, you're going to get these gamer boys and gamer groups that are going to have an issue with such media. And unfortunately, they were picking on Dragon Age, a game that many of us love and appreciate. However, with that being said, in truth, Dragon Age the Veilguard definitely isn't a perfect game. Like, I had a lot of fun with my playthrough, and yeah, I would play the game again, but I think there is also some very valid criticism that I hope Bioware takes from this. I hope that they do listen to like the reviewers, I hope they listen to players, and I also hope they listen to some public feedback on how they should take Dragon Age forward, because from the looks of it, you know, there is that potential for a Dragon Age 5, and I really hope that it does happen. From my side, I definitely think that there were some themes and the way that some things were depicted, like whether it was like cutscenes or dialogues or even like the depiction of certain characters in that, where it almost felt like there was like a Disneyification of the game. And there were also moments as well where it almost felt like we were in a Marvel Cinematic Universe. Parts of it felt like it was like a superhero movie, and I'm very curious as to why BioWare took this approach. Like, I'd love to hear their thoughts on where they were going with the game. For me, actually, the most disappointing thing for me was actually the composition and the score. I'm so used to such a brilliant, dramatic, memorable score with these Dragon Age games, and I cannot even think of a single score or song or musical track from this game that really impacted me the way the other games have. In fact, the one part where I was really enjoying the music, it was actually Inquisition music that was playing. So, I really do think that they fell short on the score there, and I really hope that they look to improving that for the next one, because the previous Dragon Age games, their music was on another level. But I think it's also, while saying that, we cannot hide the fact that, you know, this was one beautifully designed game. It was gorgeous. Every single map or area you went to, it was exceptionally well designed. So, like, the graphics were top tier. I think the world of Thedas looked exceptionally stunning. And I think that each zone was so beautifully diverse and different from the other. And I was able to appreciate that. I was able to appreciate, you know, a beautiful forest rich in history compared to like a really dark, dingy, creepy, twisted swamp as well. I think each map delivered, and I think that the design team really, like, kudos to them. They did an excellent job with that. I would also definitely say that I am aware that there's a lot of discourse online about the companions and the characters. There's been a lot of hate to certain characters in that, but I actually think that all the characters and companions were really good. I thoroughly enjoyed each character, and I thought that they each had their own unique background and personality and brought something different to the table when it came to the game. And I do get it. Like, there's going to be some people that are not going to like how stubborn and childish, like, Tash is. Some people might not like how, like, zealous and excitable Harding was. But I don't, like, I think, like, all of them had a chance to change and grow. And I was able to see that character development in the game. So I think that they did succeed there. I think the thing that was missing a little bit for me was the fact, well, actually, I've never been mean in my Dragon Age playthroughs, but I think we weren't given the option to, like, be mean and to be harsh and horrible. That wasn't a possibility in the Veilguard, whereas in the past, you could be, like, completely heartless in some of the previous Dragon Age games. So I think, like, some people have argued online that makes the game feel more Disney or animated like. So take that which you will. Yeah, take whatever you want from that comment, I guess. And I would also just like say that I think given all of that, I think that Bioware can definitely come back and, you know, bring some more different options to, like, conversations and dialogues, because I think there were just like 3 different approaches, either the super likable one, the I'm gonna be firm, or the jokey sarcastic one. I think those are like the 3 main approaches you could take. There was possibly a lack of that. Maybe they just didn't want Rook to be heartless and cold. But I also cannot exclude how entranced I was with the final hours of the game. Like, guys, honestly, the final hours of the game was exceptional. It was probably like one of the best, like, climaxes of like games that I've played in a long time. There were so many emotional highs and lows. There were some moments where there were plot twists. There were like moments where you're like, oh my word, like, is this even happening right now? Like, it felt like there was so much in the last couple of hours that I needed this time to process it all. Like, I literally needed 48 hours to process everything that just happened. So I would say, if you are a long-time Dragon Age fan or have been playing these Dragon Age games for a long time, you are going to need that time to process too, because it is a lot, and, you know, you have to make some tough choices at the end of the day that, you know, could really impact on you, your team, and the people around you. With that being said, I do think there were some pacing problems at different parts of the game. Like, sometimes I felt like there was a lack of urgency, and then all of a sudden people were being very urgent to be like, oh my word, actually this is an emergency, we need to do something. So I would say that people need to also consider that aspect too, that perhaps, I don't know, I've just been noticing of late, like with the way stories have been told in some games lately, that there seems to be a bit of a pacing issue, and I'm not too sure why this is, but it's just something I've noticed and it's been bothering me. I'm just like, come on, there's literally like 2 like elven gods that want to destroy the world, and we're having a fat chat, you know. But at the same time, I also understand the necessity behind that, because, you know, we needed to build up like our characters, we needed to go through some of the side quests too, because at the end of the day, those gods were causing problems throughout the whole entire world. But yeah, it was definitely something that, I don't know, it just bothered me at different parts. I will say though that when we needed to be urgent and when we did need to act immediately, that when it mattered the most, it did happen. So I'm glad that we were able to handle things the way we did near the end of the game. And I think the conclusion truly was, well, I found it satisfying. I don't know how other people felt, but I felt satisfied when we came to the end of the game. And I really look forward to hearing other people's opinions about it. And I'd just like to end off with the final quote here from the lovely Katie. Because when I first listened to her initial review, she stated at the end of hers, I know Veilguard isn't perfect, but it was perfect for me. And I think that's a very good way of addressing it. Like, I know this game has its problems. There were some issues that I had with it too. but I was also really impressed by various parts of the game too. I enjoyed the combat. I enjoyed the fact that as I got into the game more, I got more used to handling things as well. And I actually kind of miss not playing it now. I'm like, oh my word, it's done. And should I pick up my controller and start again? So yeah, I would say that overall, I think people should give the game a go. If you're a Dragon Age fan, give it a go. Don't listen to all the hate and nonsense that's online. Enjoy it, and know that you are also able to give valid criticisms to the game too. Because at the end of the day, we are the consumers of the product. And if we are not satisfied, give feedback, and let's see what Bioware can conjure up for us next time. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen, and yeah, don't mind me just dropping this all on you now. Take care, and looking forward to hearing people's opinions. Bye!